Thank you, Eagles, for coming through the way I begged you to do on Friday afternoon right here on this very show. Thank you to Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and Devonta Smith for putting on a show through the air and reminding us all what this passing offense can look like, and apparently for reminding the coaches as well, because this team appears to be calling its own plays. Regardless, thank you all very much. Thank you also to Carson Wentz for those 2 first-half INTs and basically missing every downfield shot he took. That was very helpful as well. Much appreciated. And thank you to Jalix Hunt and Josh Uche for making plays, something no other edge rusher has done outside of like a dude who just up and quit a couple of days ago. Thank you, Eagles, for not making me sit here and do a show I had no interest in doing today. A show about a team on a 3-game losing streak. A show about a team that is apparently has a locker room in shambles and, you know, all of the terrible narratives that I just don't want to do, but would be forced to do on a Monday following a loss to the Vikings. Thank you very much for winning that game and making all of our weeks a little bit easier. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to Philadelphia, presented by our friends at Bet Parks. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Joining me live here in the Xfinity Lounge, it is my producer and the host of PHLY Phillies. It is the one and only Tyler Zulli. What's up today, Tyler?
Yeah, that was much more enjoyable because I think you're right. I think we would have probably sent this to, like, do we have syndication here at PHLY? Just send it to syndication.
I told you on Friday, I would have thought about calling out if they had lost this game. Obviously not an actual option, but I just didn't want to do it.
Sure it is. You have PTO.
Yeah. They usually need a little bit. Oh, you know what? We have a new producer. Let's put them to work right away. Let's show them what being here is all about. Yeah, you got to jump on. Maybe you're going to host. Who knows? But no, it is really great that the Eagles are 5-2. Any way you look at it, 5-2, an excellent record through 7 games. Now we look to the Giants and. Listen, yeah, the Giants are, they've played well. They also blew a huge lead yesterday, and that takes us to our headlines. Just want to say hold on 1 second there, NFC East. I think everybody is finding out what exactly happens in a world of expectations. You know, last year, the Commanders were the up-and-coming fun team, last-minute wins. Jaden Daniels is, he's going to be the new star of the league. Everybody look out. And here they are getting blown out by the freaking Cowboys in the NFC Game of the Week. They're under 500. It's just kind of meh. And, yeah, after that run to the NFC title game a year ago, it was, do the Eagles have competition in the East? Are the Commanders the up-and-coming team? Could they supplant them in the conference and in the division? It's a different world when you have expectations. And just 1 week, 10 days, let's call it, after the Giants basically won their Super Bowl by beating the Eagles up in the Meadowlands on primetime, they blow leads of 19-0 after 3 and 26-8 and then 32-30 in the fourth. They lost 33-32. Now listen, the Broncos, another good up-and-coming team, well-coached. Bo Nix, we'll see how it's going, but he looks like he could be legit. He could grow into a top quarterback in this league. But It's just a little reminder that this is the NFL. Everybody wins sometimes. Even the Giants can upset the Eagles. Parity is built into this league. Now let's see how you do once expectations are placed on you. The commies haven't held up. And just, 1 week after the world falls in love with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. How about that? Not quite what everybody thought it was going to be. Really puts into perspective what the Eagles have done, both in the short term, this run of success with Hurts and Sirianni, and the long term, what they've done in the 21st century, remaining relevant and contenders for most of the last 25 years. Pretty impressive run. Let's see how you do with those expectations. The Eagles have held up. They've held up even when they've had dips.
Yeah, I think the Denver Broncos are a legit football team. The defense is very, very good. It's a team that fights back in the fourth quarter. Them and the Bucs have had quite a few fourth quarter comebacks this year. It's a really good team. I think you look at that loss now, you're starting to feel a little bit separated from it. You know that, you probably should not blow a 17-3 lead, but you understand that it's a really good team, that the Broncos are going to probably be in playoff contention. You're feeling still kind of crummy about that Giants loss, but now you've been able to right the ship a little bit, and you kind of look outward and you see, I don't know if the league's all that good. I really don't.
And that's kind of been the thing we've said all along, like looking around, who's the great team? Who is the great team? Now the Chiefs are starting to get it together, the team that the Eagles have beat 3 times in a row. Like, all right, Broncos are good. I'm not worried. Like, one, that would be a Super Bowl rematch. Like, we'd have to see them in the Super Bowl to get to them. Like, are the Buccaneers, who the Eagles have beaten, the great? Like, I don't know. We'll see what they do against the Lions on Monday Night Football tonight. But I'm not worried. It's all about, to me, the Eagles' execution and building on what they just did against the Vikings, not about anybody else. Because everybody else has not held up to expectations, and despite these bumps in the road and what we've seen back in 2023, all of that, the Eagles are 5-2. The Eagles are 5-2, and then they have a game against the Giants, who they should dismantle, and then the bye. I'm feeling good. I am feeling good on this Monday morning.
Well, I think that you have a right to it. I think that everything that we asked for is not perfect, right? It's still not been entirely fixed, but
no.
As we said before before the Vikings game, if they were heading into the Vikings game at 4-2 at the beginning of the season, you would have taken it. If they're heading into the bye at hopefully 6-2, you would have taken it, because you understand that this is a much difficult, one of the more difficult schedules in football this year. You still have quite a few good teams to get through. You've played some good teams, but you do know that if you could get into Week 8 at 6-2 back in August, you would have absolutely taken it. Are there things that need to be worked on? 100%. I'm glad that Devonta Smith opened up a play that worked for them, but I don't love the fact that their play callers didn't see it. And I know that the best players aid their coaches in that search.
Sure, yeah.
There are things that need to be cleaned up, no question about it. But as we talked about last week, when it was, 4-0 masks it, 4-2 doesn't. Now that you're 5-2 and you kind of were able to get back to a stabilization, if you take next week, you go into the bye 6-2, you're feeling much better than you did 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely. All right, that takes us to our next headline. Matvei Michkov benched again on Saturday. The Flyers come away with an overtime win. That was a lot of fun. Noah Cates scores in overtime for the Flyers' second win of the season. But the alleged supposed star of the team didn't play in the final 11-plus minutes of the third, didn't get a shift in overtime. Not as glaring that he didn't get a shift in overtime this time, because the Flyers scored, less than 5 minutes in. The last overtime game went till there was 35 seconds left and he didn't get on the ice. But something tells me if this thing had gone to a shootout, Mish wouldn't have seen the ice the entire overtime. And a lot of people are concerned about it. A lot of people already criticizing Rick Tocchet. Here's the thing. Last year, the main character was Matvei Michkov. It's all we cared about. This year, it's about the team being better. He's got to be better, too. He has not played well. He has to earn his ice time like everybody else. Now, if this persists, I'll start to get worried. But right now, I'm just looking at a 20-year-old sophomore in the NHL who is off to a slow start. That's it. It's that simple right now. If we're still doing this in November, if we're still doing this around Thanksgiving, we're talking about that Disney on Ice trip after Christmas, and it's still, Mish just isn't on the same page with Tocchet, maybe that's something to worry about. But as of now, These are just the growing pains of a 20-year-old hockey player, and that's the way I'm looking at it. Finally, we have a Game 7. As the saying goes, the two best words in sports, Game 7, Mariners, Blue Jays. And I got to tell you, as much as I'm like pro Mariners because they've never done it before, this is kind of a win-win, right? Like, it's two teams that is hard to root against for me right now. How do you think this is going to go, and where are you leaning, Tyler? Who do you want to see win? Who do you think is going to win?
I've been rooting for Seattle in this series just because I like the way that their team is constructed. I love their pitching staff. Their pitching's not been good for most of this series. I think I saw a stat last night on the broadcast that their starters had like a 6.8 ERA in the series, and that's just not good enough. And the fact that they're in a Game 7 is really impressive, considering the fact that their starting pitching hasn't been nearly as good as we had hoped it would be. These are two very, very good teams, and we've seen what now? 2 home wins in the entire series. And Game 7, of course, is going to be in Toronto. That fan base is going to be rabid. They were loud last night. It's going to be even more intensified tonight. This has been a fun series. I've really enjoyed watching it. If you strip away the fact that the Phillies aren't playing right now, you can, watch baseball from an objective standpoint. It's fun.
I'm starting to get to the point where, like, I was looking at my hat wall this morning, and I was like, not yet, but I'm getting to the point maybe I can put on a Phillies hat again in the near future. But yeah, if you're able to just kind of separate yourself and not be mad about baseball, this has been a freaking awesome series. All right, coming up on the other side.
I will say though, Bill, I apologize real quick. I brought a stat up on the Philly show today. This is the 5th time ever that one series in the CS went 7 games and the other series was a sweep. The team that swept in the CS is 0-4 in the World Series. So the Dodgers are probably going to, they're going to look to break that trend.
And if someone can do it, like I know you were talking about that 07 Rockies team, like, yeah, I mean, the talent disparity between the Rockies and Red Sox was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, to see how it could go. Like, if there's one team that can do it, it's the freaking super team up against the Blue Jays or the Mariners. All right, coming up on the other side, we have a Matz Hates Morning story. And then, of course, we're going to talk plenty more Eagles. I have a movie review for you as well if we have time for that. But I got to tell you about our presenting sponsor. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. They've got new games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, and they've got all your favorite casino games as well. The classics like blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and all the slots. Whether you're, into Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, Cleopatra, slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, or even nostalgic favorites like the Goonies, you have to go with the BetParx online casino app. And right now is the time because new users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in that first 24 hours after you sign up. All you got to do, go to betparx.com, download the app, and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 or older and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, so tonight you've got a great opportunity for a lot of different sport viewing. And if you're going to do it, you have to do it right. You have to do it with Xfinity. You've got a Game 7 in baseball, 2 Monday Night Football games. You've got the Flyers tonight. You've got an endless opportunity to watch all of these games in one place. So if you call yourself an ultimate sports fan, you have to have Xfinity. It's the best place to get all of your games and your favorite teams all in one place, and the way that you watch becomes next level. It is the perfect fan flex. You get all the action right there in your living room. Plus, with Xfinity's incredible enhanced optics and 4K sound, you're going to feel like you're at the ballpark, the rink, the field, whatever it might be, without having to leave the comfort of your couch. And sometimes, like tonight, you can watch 4 games at once because why not? You should, right? So on top of that, you get real-time notifications and live stats right on your TV. It is the best seat in the house every single time. So next game day, including tonight, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that.
All right, it's time for a little Matz Hates Mornings. And listen, I got a great night's sleep last night. I was happy to come to work, get everything going, but I had a dream last night that I did not want to wake up from. And, when you're younger, maybe you have an exciting sexual adventure dream that you don't want to leave. I used to dream all the time about finding stuff that I'd lost and then wake up and be like, nope, still don't know where that is. Today, I did not want to. I was so bummed out when I woke up from this dream because I had a dream that I was in the woods, like behind the house I grew up in, and I found a wallet with $500 cash in it. And I was furious when I woke up and did not have that $500 cash. Maybe this is just a statement about the state of things, Tyler, but I was like, damn it, I really want that $500. I had already come up with ways in my head on how I was going to be spending it. Like, oh man, there's like wrestling pay-per-views and hats and stuff I want. Ava doesn't even need to know about this $500 cash. This is just mad money. And then, nope. Woke up, did not have $500 extra cash. Luckily, it's payday. That was fun. But like, that's money I earned. Found money, way more fun than money you find.
Oh, for sure.
And it reminded me of this roommate I had in college, my buddy Bose. And he once said to me, like, we were just like paying our bills and doing something. He just goes, dude, I think I'm due. I think I'm due to find some money. It's like, what the hell does that mean? He goes, like every now and then you find like a 20 in the street or like a pair of pants you haven't worn forever. You find a few bucks. I feel like that hasn't happened to me, and I'm kind of banking on it. Kind of banking on finding some money. I was like, that's quite a way to go through life. Like after 6 months, maybe a year, you haven't found any money. You're like, all right, I'm due soon. Is it? It's basically the same.
It's just like real life Pirates of the Caribbean. You're just going to come into money via your pants or like a jacket you hung up in the closet and then summer rolled around and you took the jacket back out. Like,
is this like what real heavy gamblers feel like? Like I'm due. You walk
this is
up.
Why they have the phone number, Bill.
You walk up to the roulette table and you're like, 8 reds in a row? I'm putting the mortgage on black. Like, is this the... And it just made me laugh.
Yeah, the problem is that's when green pops up. You get 0.
That 0 will get you every time. It just made me laugh because I was so bummed I didn't have this $500 I found. And I had absolutely, there was nothing in this dream where I even considered, like, I should find who this wallet belongs to. No, never even crossed my mind. And then it just made me think of my buddy who told me part of his financial planning was like, I don't know. I think I'm due to find some money.
Listen, I think going through life blissfully ignorant is not a bad place to be until like actual real life consequences happen.
100%. All right, that is today's Matz Hates Mornings. Let's hit a little social studies before this next break, Tyler. And we're going to talk plenty the rest of the way about Jalen Hurts. But I saw a poll on Twitter this morning from Eagles Nation, the @PHL Eagles Nation Twitter account. And it asked, what is the best passing game you've seen Jalen Hurts play in his NFL career? Your options, the Vikings yesterday, Super Bowl 57, obviously the Super Bowl a couple years ago against the Chiefs that they lost, and then the rematch this past year, Super Bowl 59 that they won. Leading right now with 45.1% of the vote, Super Bowl 59, which kind of surprised me. He was great. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl. But he wasn't asked to do that much. Super Bowl 57, it's not like it's far off, but 39.8% of the vote. Super Bowl 57 is one of the best games I've ever seen anyone play. He was just so freaking good in that game. 27 of 38, 304 yards, the 1 touchdown, 103.4 rating. Also had, the 15 rush for 70 yards, the 3 touchdowns. He did, of course, lose the fumble. We all remember he made one bad read in that game, and it was, I can run on this draw. Oh, no, there's a linebacker there, and then just knocks the ball into his thigh, scoop and score. We all remember. But overall, one of the best passing games of his career. Super Bowl 59, he just didn't have to do that much. He does throw a pick. He's 17 of 22 for 221. 11 rushes for 72 yards and the 1 score. It's hard for me. I guess the offense didn't do a ton in the second half of Super Bowl 57, and so maybe you ding him for that. But he was just, that first Kansas City Super Bowl, it's hard for me to look at any performance he's ever had and be like, that's not the one right there. That was Jalen at his absolute best.
Yeah, I think that game, not only did he throw for over the 300 yards you talked about in the touchdown. He ran for 3, ran for 70 more yards. I think he picked up a 2-point conversion along the way.
He had the octopus play. Yeah.
I mean, we were legitimately talking about, like, could this guy win the MVP if they lose? And because there was no question, if they won that game, Jalen Hurts was winning the MVP.
Yes.
And he won it last year as well. And understandably so. It's quarterbacks tend to win the Super Bowl MVP. And it's not like he was bad. He was very, very good. Yeah. 3 touchdowns in that game total as well. But I think if you're thinking about what were the most memorable games, of course the Super Bowl win is going to come to your head. But if you're thinking about strictly what was the objective best game that he played, Super Bowl 57, even in a loss, is really hard to not take as that pick.
I don't want to knock the game in which he won the freaking Super Bowl and convincingly, but they shut them out essentially. Like in my mind, that game ends because it's 34-0. Like the game ended there. The refs allowed it to go on, and they even let Kansas City score a touchdown that they didn't really earn. Very blatant hold on BG on their first score. But like, I don't know. It kind of felt, and maybe individually, all 4 quarters, Jalen was the best player in the field. The Super Bowl MVP did kind of feel a little Eli Manning-ish in that you can't give it to multiple defensive players. Like, Eli wins a Super Bowl MVP because the D-line can't be the MVP. That's not a thing,
we talked about potentially Josh Sweat winning. Sweat winning it. Milton Williams, was great. But you're right. The D-line was so good in that Super Bowl, you're probably not going to give it to a position group.
I don't come away from the Super Bowl they just won going, oh, that was the Jalen game. Like, to me, that was a dominant defensive performance. And not even just Jalen. Like, I don't come away thinking about the offense basically at all. Outside of, like, the dagger, I don't really think about the offense at all. It's the defense killed the Chiefs. They put them in the freaking ground.
Yeah,
that's what I think of. The Super Bowl 57, I'm like, yo, the offense did everything. They couldn't get a stop. And listen, we can blame the field. We can blame whatever. But, like, they couldn't get a single stop in the second half. That's why they lost.
I think about when we're thinking about regular season games. Now, granted, he only threw for 200 yards in this game, but the game against the Buffalo Bills, they wore the Kelly green.
Yes.
It was right before the collapse happened.
Great rock
It was like the
win.
last good win of the year.
Yeah.
He combined for 5 touchdowns, but it was his legs that did most of the damage, and he had the game-winning rushing touchdown. That was an incredible individual performance. But, yeah, man, I think if I'm thinking about the best individual performances from Jalen Hurts, it's probably Super Bowl 57.
It was just, like, not, and yesterday was really good as well, the perfect passer rating, and we'll talk about that on the other side. I just saw this poll and was like, it's in my mind, and there's probably regular season games from, like, 2022 that I'm not thinking of because, like, that whole year, listen, if he doesn't get hurt in that Bears game, he's running away with the MVP. It's kind of like the Wentz MVP year where it's like, yeah, if he stays healthy and stays on that pace, it's kind of his, and there's really not anyone challenging him for it. But we'll talk a little bit more about Hurts on the other side. Right now, got to tell you about Ace Hardware. When the weather turns chilly, the last thing you need is another home project adding to the list. That's where Ace Hardware Home Services comes in, because Ace Hardware Home Services brings trusted local pros right to your door to help you get your home ready for the colder months. From heating tune-ups and plumbing fixes to generators and emergency repairs, their experts handle it all. There's never any guesswork, no stress, just a local pro to get the job done right, and your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Find the help you need for your next home project at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
All right, listen, if your routine is disrupted by pain, joint pain, shoulder pain, back pain, whatever it might be, you have to consult Rothman Orthopedics, because when your routine gets disrupted, the right care shouldn't be a hassle. That's where Rothman Orthopedics makes it easy. With convenient offices located throughout the region, plus they offer walk-in and urgent care centers when you need that help fast. Whether it's a new injury or something that's been bothering you for a while, expert orthopedic care is just around the corner. Schedule your appointment today at rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility, our mission.
All right, welcome back. I want to just look back at yesterday's game for another minute, because I will say, while the 2 Super Bowl games, like, they're the freaking Super Bowl, obviously they stand out. The perfect passer rating, the fact that he throws for over 300, the fact that we finally get Devonta and AJ both going in the same game, they're both well over 100 yards. I think the case you can make for yesterday's game is Jalen does it without running. In the 2 Super Bowls, he goes for 70 and 72 yards, 4 total rushing touchdowns between them, and the 2-point conversion. Yesterday, 19 of 23 for 326 and 3 touchdowns, 4 rushes, negative 10 yards. Now the kneel downs and whatever the hell happened at the end of the game, that factors in. But no rushing, basically no rushing attempts when you look at it. Like, this might be the most impressive passing game simply because he didn't have the run threat, and the run game with Saquon wasn't going at all either. Listen, yeah, they made some stuff happen off play action, and defenses are very aware of Saquon's explosive potential, and they want to stop him. But with absolutely no running game, either Jalen or Saquon, he still is able to go for 326 and 3. I think that's kind of what puts it in the conversation for me. Not with the Super Bowls, because they're the Super Bowls, but it's pretty impressive. A guy who maybe you think of first as a rushing threat goes for 326 with basically no rushing threat at all.
Yeah, I think that when you think about the offensive performance yesterday, it was what we've kind of clamored for in the pass game, right? It's get your best players involved, right? It's get AJ Brown involved. He heavily got Devonta Smith involved as well, and rightfully so. It makes sense. You get your best players involved in the game, not just early, not just often, but both of those things, right? You end up with a scenario where I think Devonta Smith had, 10 catches or 11 catches. AJ Brown had 6 or 7. AJ Brown scores twice. Devonta Smith scores once. They both go over 100 yards. It's, I think this is the type of game that you're hoping for when everything is clicking for your pass offense, because those are your two primary pass offense guys. Here you go. I was trying to go through it. Here's the numbers from the post game show yesterday. 4 receptions and 9 receptions, both over 120 or more. 3 TDs. Like, the numbers are off the charts good for these two guys.
And, you see the 11 targets, that's a ton. But Devontae has 183, the most receiving yards of any receiver this year, after Jamar Chase, maybe the best receiver in football, just got 16 targets a couple of days ago. That's pretty freaking impressive.
Well, you and I talked about it. We said, listen, we don't need the 23 targets, but, get your guys involved. And
that's exactly what you need to do. It's asinine that this isn't the offense. And I was ready to lose it, too. The third down inside run to Saquon that set up the missed field goal, that was it for me. I'm glad I wasn't I didn't tweet leave Patullo in Canada, because that's what I wanted to do. You're a Minnesota native now, man. You're not even getting back on the plane, because that was the most obvious playing for a field goal play I've ever seen in a game. The play that hasn't worked once this year in a game where you're just killing it through the air. But we'll fix the run game another day. I wanted to get to that movie review because I saw Good Fortune. I want to tell you about the new shirt we have, because it's Victory Monday here at PHLY and throughout the city of Philadelphia. And I got to tell you, our merch game, it's really picked up over the last few weeks. And whenever we have a big win, we've been putting out some new Eagles shirts. I am a big fan of this one. I think it's sick. Get it at allphly.com. Click that merch tab. Really cool. I think it's one of our better pieces of merch we have put out, especially recently. All right, one more thing to get to today, and That's Not Sports. Went to an afternoon movie on Friday. This might become my new routine. People who watch the Flyers show regularly know when they play on Saturdays, we often have an off day, and we like to make it on Fridays. I went to a 2:50 p.m. movie, which is, an old person thing, but hey, I'm not above it. And went and saw Good Fortune with Aziz, with Keanu, and with Seth Rogen on Friday. And I gave it a 7.75 out of 10. There's some really good laughs. It's a little predictable. Keanu Reeves is out freaking standing. Now, you all know I'm a huge Keanu fan. I end the show every day with a line from a Keanu movie. Aziz has his moments. He's a little annoying sometimes. He's just kind of leaning into his delivery, and that's just kind of him, but a little too much. Seth Rogen, you know what you're getting with him. It was great. But the whole audience dug it. My wife and I both had some really loud, laugh out loud moments. I give it a solid recommendation. I want to see Roofman this week. My wife wants to see the Springsteen biopic, so we'll see who wins that one. I'll probably be telling you about Springsteen on Monday. But I want to make sure, I wanted to just get that in. And I want to make sure, if you haven't checked it out yet, on the PHLY Flyers YouTube, our little playlist there on the PHLY Sports, check out my interview with Charlie Min. Who is Charlie Min? He's a filmmaker. He just he's putting out now a documentary called The Swede of Philadelphia. It examines the life and career of the one Pelle Lindbergh. Obviously, a short, tragic ending to his career and his life, but very, very interesting. The interview is about 18 minutes. Check it out right here. I highly recommend that as well. And that is all the time we have for you on Philadelphia today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on YouTube. We're over 50K followers. We're on our way to 100K. Make sure you are one of them. And hit the like button. 22 likes, decent. Want to jack that up a little bit. Come on. Make me feel good about myself with the likes. Follow me on Twitter at Philadelphia PHLY. And follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search Philadelphia. All right, that'll do it for us today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. I am Bill Matz. Thank you to Tyler Zulli. Be excellent to each other.
We all silly like